When I first started making pots in the late 1970s, they were raw and earthy, often decorated with floral motifs taken directly from nature. Over the years, both the form and the content became more refined and abstract. Birds and fishes and plants evolved and were distilled into lines, first of all painted with a brush, inspired by the Chinese and Japanese traditions of painting and calligraphy, and then incised with a needle. And one day, the lines themselves began to evolve. Instead of lines, words. It was no coincidence, of course, that the need to find a poem that I could incise over the entire surface of these large, undulating bowls coincided with the writing of a poem, I Am, which was itself the distillation of everything I was discovering about the essential nature of myself at that time. It was as if the bowls were requesting, demanding even, that they be decorated in a way that was consistent with the feeling understanding from which they themselves arose. And simultaneously it was as though my incipient understanding was seeking a form, not just in words, but in 3 dimensions, in which it could be contained and expressed. This reciprocal relationship is well known to any artist or writer. It is one in which our inner life seeks expression in form, and the evolving form imposes a discipline on our inner life. So it was that what started out as a few lines scribbled on the back of an envelope evolved into a long contemplative poem or prayer that I began to incise on all the surfaces of my bowls. In time, the bowls became larger, wider, finer, often collapsing as the material was stretched to its limit. And the writing became looser, smaller, less legible. It was as though my understanding, such as it was seeking a new medium. And then, one day, as I was incising a large open bowl with the I Am poem, the thought came to me out of nowhere. I wish I could just make bowls out of words. Little did I realize at that time that that unsolicited thought would become a foretaste of what was to come. It was a hint from the subliminal regions of my mind, where the distinction between forms, bowls and words in this case, are not as clearly delineated as they are in the waking state. Suffice to say that 2 years later, I was no longer making bowls. I was making, bowls out of words. The words, of course, continue to evolve. There are less of them and more space in between them. Perhaps one day, just as the words were relieved of the medium which originally supported them, the understanding will be relieved of the words in which it is currently expressed, and silence will prevail. Bowls out of silence. So I would like to read part of the poem, a meditation on I Am, from this book. I am. I have no words to express myself, but all words express only me. I have no meaning, but impart meaning to all that is perceived. I am without beginning and end, but all things begin and end in me. I have no name, but am called by all names. I have no form, but all form indicates me. I have no origin, but am the origin of all things. I am without division, but all divisions exist in me. I am the knowing with which all things are known. I am the presence in which all things appear. I am the substance out of which all things are made. I am and know myself alone. I shine in the mind as the knowledge I am. I pervade the body as the feeling of being. I am felt in the heart as peace and happiness. It is my being that shines as existence in all things. I am the longing in sadness and the longed for in all longing. I am the expecting and the expected in all expectation. I am the restlessness of the restless. I am the peace of the peaceful. I am happiness